Alright, Ebusia for any day coins mima Obibia Kwabasonko about possible TV GH. Any day coins so and then they can win your channel so YouTube and start and saying my best also by the brain wash video no. I'm gonna query Oshi and like or comment or subscribe and share content no and also recommend the channel no. I'm on a bit on your videos in the I only say aha. Nyaji akunya say na so my concern Ghana munsem na Adom squad ko hwe bi adi eba beso Ebusia no kasa odi wa ko bi adrop. Yenko change some audio.
Mustapha Hamid has joined us in the studio, and Abuchi was saying that you were the youngest member of the National Executive in 2000. The history of the party in 2002 or so, sitting down with President Kufuor and others. How was it at that time? You had just come out of Kivas, how did you?
Absolutely. Actually, I've been a participant in national politics right from 1991 when we founded the Dankwa Buzia Club.
Even you are a founding member
of Dankwa Buzia Club, yes. In Cape Coast with one lawyer, Spio, he's late, may his soul rest in peace. Rex Fafadogwe is also late. Bafwo.
This is Cape Coast?
Yes, this is Cape Coast.
Where you were at the time?
I was a first year student at the University of Cape Coast.
Wow.
And that's when former President Jerry Rawlings had just declared his intention to move into partisan politics.
But why did you decide to join them? How did you know you should be NPP at that time? The NPP had never come. PNDC is what we had all known.
Yeah.
The 69 one was too early. Absolutely. The Dankwa one was even earlier. So how did you know at that time that I want to join these people?
Well, I decided that I'll join the Dankwa Buzia Club because, first of all, I didn't like anything to do with the Jerry Rawlings and his tradition.
The coup and the gun.
Yes, and all of that. Those who know my life story quite intimately, but I'll just say it on the surface. I mean, my father was a soldier, and then Jerry Rawlings and his people chased my father into exile in 1985.
Oh, I see.
So
also naturally you were on the other side.
Absolutely. So and then so we had Heritage Club, we had Eagle Club, we had Dankwa Buzia Club. They came and all put their notices on the Casford Hall notice board and said, students who are interested in joining any of this club. I just came and looked at the thing, and then I decided I'll do the Dankwa Buzia one because I want Jerry Rawlings and his tradition out of the place.
So then you went to meetings?
Yeah, so went to meetings. 18th May 1992 is when political party activity was formally lifted. That very night, I walked from Kesley Hayford Hall to the then Victoria Park, now it's called Jubilee Park, in Cape Coast, for bonfire lighting to signal the formation of the NPP. I was standing by the bonfire.
Who else was there?
And walked back to Cape Coast. I have a friend in Kumasi called Kwame Chan. When we got back to, because Lawyer Spio and Co had said that they were going to come to campus with a bus
to take
us to, then for whatever reasons the bus didn't show up. So all the students dispersed, went back to their dormitories, their halls. But myself and Kwame Chem, we were so determined that we wanted to be part of this thing. So we started to trek from Kesley Hayford Hall all the way to Victoria Park.
Wow.
Went to be part of the bonfire night and trekked back to Kesley Hayford Hall. When we got back to Kesley Hayford Hall, it was 1:32 a.m. And then
you were happy with what you've done?
And we were excited, and I was excited.
Wow.
Thought that there's now a prospect for my father coming back. To be fair to Jerry Rawlings, in 1992, he actually made an announcement that all the exiled soldiers and so on could return to Ghana because we were now in a democratic dispensation. But my father and a few of his friends said they didn't trust him, even if he was a democratic president. So my father never returned until 2001 when NPP won.
Oh, I see.
Power. Yes, from 1985 to 2001, my father was out in exile.
He only came when
NPP came back to power.
Wow.
So all along, I was fighting with the zeal that I wanted to get the PNDC and its antecedent party, the NDC, out of the place so my father can return. That was, frankly speaking, my own motivation for doing politics. So I thought after my father returns, my work is done, and then I can go back to other things. But as they say, the rest is history, and here I am.
So, when did you then meet Nana Akufo-Addo? The last one that we come to, because I know that's an interesting story too.
Okay, so I became national youth organizer, as you said, and then as Attorney General, he was entitled to attend a National Executive Committee meeting. So he would come to to National Executive Committee meetings, but we never even spoke. I just finished, I go my way. I wasn't free with him. He wasn't my friend, let me put it that way. And then one day, after National Executive Committee meeting, he approached me and said, young man, come here. So I went. And he said, you are a brilliant young man. Can you see me in my house after? Like tomorrow, the next day after the executive call. So I went to see him. And
where was he staying at that time?
Near the Muslim cemetery, East Legon. And then, but earlier on, let me go back a bit. Earlier on, Gabi Ochredakun actually is the first person to have introduced me to him, but it was very brief. When Gabi came to poach me, I was working with a newspaper called High Street Journal, and then Gabi came to poach me to come and work for the Statesman. Yeah. So then he said, I think it's proper that you see the founder of the Statesman newspaper. So one day he took me to his house and then said, oh, I have a new editor. But that interaction was very brief. And after that, that was it. I was just doing my work as Statesman. Until this, I became National Youth Organizer. And then after the National Executive Committee meeting, he said to me that I should see him the next day. So when I went to see him, you know, and then he said, I like you, you are brilliant, I like your articulation, and so on and so forth. Let me be candid with you. I want to be president of the Republic of Ghana.
Oh, he told you?
Yes. In 2000, and this was in 2004, 2000, just around December 2004, entering into 2005.
Oh, I see.
So he said, I would run since Kufuor is doing his second term, and it's going. I'm going to run. And I need young men like you to be in my country.
Oh wow, this is an interesting story.
Under normal circumstances, I would have said to him,
you were the National Youth Organizer.
And I was National Youth Organizer. I was National Youth Organizer. So he said, I want you to help me. So under normal circumstances, I would have said to him, let me go home and think about it. But I didn't say anything of that. I said, I'm with you. I'm going to follow you. We'll work.
Wow.
And then he shook my hands and said, we have a pact.
Oh, I see. and that has been it.
Yes. And then after that, Mr. Victor Newman and co. This was in May 2005. Mr. Victor Newman, Carlos Von Brazi, Mitch Eddie Dakun, all of this founded FONA.
Oh yes, FONA. Friends of Nana Akufo-Addo.
Yeah. Then we started FONA, and then yes, and then we were meeting. But the group that was meeting in Mitch Eddie Dakun's house every Monday, you know, was just me, Nana Akufo-Addo himself if he was in town. Of course, Mitch Eddie Dakun, Gabi Ochredakun, Victor Newman himself, and then I think once a while Bedi Etuo would show up, and so on. And then of course Ken Oforiatta would also show up once in a while. And then there was Yao Amfokwachi.
Oh yes, he died.
Yes, and then we'll meet in Mitch's house. I think we used to call it number 10. It's somewhere, yes, Kanda Place. You know, and then we'll meet there every Monday from 2005 all the way till 2007 when we were now official, and then we rented those offices behind Odor Rice.
Yeah, that's a Salam Down.
Okay, it's a Salam Down. Okay, so somewhere behind Odor Rice, and then we had some circle. Yes, and then we had we started running the FONA project from there, and then I would go around with him. First of all, I went around the whole country, me, Mitch Eddie Dakun, and Amfokwachi. First round, the talk to delegates. Yes, the three of us. And then I would do most of the talking.
This is ahead of 2007.
Yes, at head of the primaries. And then Amfokwachi would come and talk about him because he was his personal assistant and cousin as well. And Amfokwachi would talk about his person and who he is, and etc., etc. Then later on, when he resigned and joined, you know, it was just basically me and him. And I would talk, and then hand over the mic to him, and then he would talk, and then we'll move to the next constituency. Then later,
so by then you started doing the spokesperson.
Yes. So I've been his spokesperson, officially announced as spokesperson from 2007.
Oh, I see.
Exactly. So that's what happened.
All the way to 2017.
And all the way to 2017. Then later Abu Jinapo came to join. Also.
It's a special aid.
Yes. And then in the last round of campaigning, so Abu Jinapo would talk, give me the mic, then I would talk, and then hand over to him. Introduce him and hand over to him, and then that's how we won the primaries of 2007. And as they say, the rest is history.
Is that why this is the last one? Is that why the story came out in 2021 February? I was somewhere, they were talking and they said, what happened? They said, Charlie, the president has changed his mind. And they said, what? I said, apparently the president has promised NPA to somebody during the campaign. And then there's a very strong promise. And then the president called somebody and said, Chief, I beg you, somebody that I have a pact with has asked for this thing. So I can't. I have promised you, but it is gone. Because this man, so quickly we all started, what is on the phone? Who is everybody was asking. I hear that's what the president said. Now your story makes it whole. He told the president that I wanted to take you there, but somebody that is equally competent, and I have a pact with him. He has asked for it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a very close relationship.
Absolutely.